Hello there my RPG lovers and welcome to another video. Well, yet another episode of new RPGs that might be worth your time. If this is your first time watching, this is the series of videos where I look for new RPGs and action-adventure games which seem interesting to me personally. However, I also try to include something for everyone if possible of course, and I try my best to carefully handpick all the games on the list. Do take in mind that most of these games are yet to be released, so we never know for sure if they're going to be any good. There is a possibility they might suck, that goes without saying. If perhaps you don't see a particular game on the list that you're looking forward to, there is a chance I already covered it in one of my previous videos, so you can check that out as well. Anyway, before we start talking about these games, a quick word from today's sponsor. Ace Defender is a strategy RPG with tower defense elements. The Silver Dragon Princess Alipida escaped with the Creation Crystal to the human lands. Your job is to help her fight evil with all the heroes that she can summon. Ace Defender has a traditional story mode that you can play with over 40 chapters and almost 2000 levels. It's a mixture of turn-based battles and tower defense modes. The heroes that you can use in battle have 5 different factions: Divine, Demon, Shadow, Nature and Light. The game had 48 unique heroes on launch, but it also has 2 new heroes coming out every 2 weeks. You can level them up, combine them how you see fit and equip them with gear. No matter which game mode you choose to play, your goal is to optimize your party as best as you can. Speaking about game modes, Ace Defender has PvE and PvP modes. Arena is the PvP mode on your server or across servers, and King's Arena has multiple lineups. New users who download the game by using my link will get the following rewards when they reach level 10 in the game: 150k gold, 700 diamonds, 7 Royal Recruit tickets, blue plus 50 hero fragments, 50 rare purple random equipped fragments, and a legendary hero called Sealed Bulwark. Download the game by using the link I provided in the description and get all of these rewards today. Number 5. Neon Cyber Deserts. From the moment I saw this little action-adventure game, I knew I had to put it on the list. Hoverboarding in the desert and fast-paced action with a really nice warm color palette. What's not to like? The emphasis on the light blue color is very pleasant for the eye and it creates an interesting vibe. When it comes to the game itself, Neon Cyber Desert is set in a post-apocalyptic universe where humans have gone extinct. Only robots and monsters roam through what remains of past civilization. That glowing blue substance, or shall we say neon substance, is apparently not just the stylistic choice, but the energy that fuels all creatures in the game, mechanical and organic as well. You will harvest some of their energy by killing them to recover your own energy levels. Improving your character, or robot to be more precise, is done by scavenging desert ruins for scrap metal. You can choose to focus on offense, defense, or research to craft other equipment. I really don't know who would choose to focus on defense over offense in like every RPG ever. That always sounds boring if you ask me. Anyway, the world of Neon Cyber Desert will be procedurally generated, which can be great if done right. But I'm guessing there are a lot of people who will instantly cringe when they hear procedural generation, and for a good reason. A lot of things can go wrong with that design choice and it seems like it's being overused lately. But we'll see. I mentioned hoverboarding before and exploring the desert really looks fun with that thing. Besides that, we also have just a couple of more videos from the official Twitter account and that's pretty much it. But it's enough to show you the potential of this game. If it happens that someone from the development team is watching this video, I would suggest making a YouTube channel about your game and put some videos there, please. Or you already did, but I just can't find it, but I highly doubt that though. Yeah, but anyway, this game looks like it could be really fun. Number 4. The Last Oricru. No. The Last Oricru is a story-driven action RPG with a split-screen co-op mode. Wait, split-screen co-op mode? Sign me up. The reason why I'm such a strong advocate for this long-forgotten PC feature is not actually a personal thing, believe it or not. Because I prefer single-player experience in RPGs. And I can barely make any of my friends play some RPGs, yet alone play them in a split-screen mode. I'm just kidding, I don't have any friends. However, I know for a fact that a lot of people want to see more split-screen couch co-op RPGs. One of the reasons why Outward was so successful was definitely the split-screen mode. A big emphasis has been put on the player choice in this upcoming action RPG. Actually, a huge emphasis to the point where it gets a little bit annoying, to be honest. While having impactful gameplay choices is amazing and almost mandatory in RPGs if you ask me, if the rest of the game is not that good, it won't matter a lot. The Last Oricru looks like it could be a fun game, but it also looks rough around the edges, to put it lightly.
Oh shit.
That's never been an issue for me personally. If the gameplay turns out to be fun, the lack of polish won't really bother me a lot. Anyway, this game is set in a sci-fi universe, but it has some medieval elements as well. Medieval mixed with sci-fi, now where did I hear that before? Your character wakes up in a cryo chamber for unknown reasons, and it's up to you to dig into the forgotten past of this world. There is a big conflict between two races on this planet, and your every decision will matter, apparently. Like I said, it seems like this studio is hyper-focused on decision making when it comes to this game. Massive decision tree in which your decisions lead to different outcomes, affecting story, characters, game endings, but also visual of levels or even the gameplay flow. I really hope they manage to deliver on all of this because it sounds pretty ambitious. When it comes to combat, it plays in third person and it's a skill-based action system. Judging by the alpha footage at least, it looks like it needs a lot more work. It seems functional and most attacks are actually well telegraphed, but some animations look really stiff and unnatural. The fight against the spider, which was featured in the trailer, doesn't actually look that bad. But all of this is alpha footage, so let's hope it improves in the final version. The game is being developed by a small studio from Prague, and I wish them all the best with the development. Number 3. Mechajammer. Mechajammer is a tactical cyberpunk turn-based RPG set on an off-world grindhouse jungle colony. Now, pretty much everything about that description doesn't sound appealing to me at all, until I actually got to try out the demo for myself. This is not your typical turn-based RPG for a couple of reasons. First of all, I really like the way the combat plays out in this game because it's a mix of real-time with pause and turn-based systems. You decide on an action and it immediately plays out. When it's done, the game automatically pauses and you get to issue another command. You start only with your main character, but you quickly get a couple of NPCs in your group. And the way you control your party is probably not what you would expect from a game like this. It reminds me of some strategy games like Company of Heroes. When it comes to your party members, you have a bunch of different groups, and you can assign a specific function to each group. So for example, if you select defense, all of the NPCs in that group will stay close to you. You also get to equip your main character and party members with gear that you find. The demo teaches you all the fundamentals about the gameplay. It seems like the stealth mechanic is really important in the game, but it's not a mandatory playstyle. After all, it's an RPG with a bunch of different skills that you can utilize and build your own playstyle. I'm pretty sure that everything works on dice rolls, by the way. The whole vibe of the game is dark and gloomy, from the art style to the UI design. It's highly stylized and it's really immersive actually. When it comes to other features, you learn how to hack things in the game, and you also get a car in the end. I wish the demo was a bit longer though, because I really enjoyed the gameplay. Especially the combat and how you control your party. The full game is supposed to feature a full open world, and it will be interesting to see how they manage to pull that off. You'll get to explore the cyberpunk city as well as the killer jungles outside of its walls. I'm really curious about the final version of the game and I'll be checking it out when it comes out. Definitely keep your eye on this one. Number 2. Return to Nangrim.
Some good old wooden planks.
Return to Nangrim is a first-person fantasy adventure with RPG elements. This is another game on the list that I had the pleasure to try out for myself. However, that wasn't even a demo according to the developer, it was more of a playable teaser. The playable teaser has just a couple of different mechanics which they plan to use in the final game, and that was pretty much it. Things like resource gathering, crafting, and some exploration. Let me start by saying that we don't have a lot of first-person RPGs or action adventures coming out, so it's always refreshing to see a game like this. This game is revolved around a dwarven family called Stonebeards, living in the northern Nimber Mountains. Here are some of the promised features on their Steam page. Explore epic locations and unveil their secrets. Collect, combine, and craft items and interact with the environment to progress. Find and forge weapons to defend against the dangers that lurk in the dark. Not all creatures have left the mountain fortress. Become a master blacksmith, learn how to forge like the dwarves of old. Yeah, about that, I actually got to try out some of the crafting in the game, and it's a step-by-step process. You will need to adjust the furnace heat level depending on the recipe of the item you wish to craft. And of course, you'll have to have the resources that you get by mining and gathering. I can definitely see why this crafting system is probably going to go well with the whole dwarven theme of the game.
The luck of a dwarf.
Unfortunately, the demo doesn't have any fighting segments where I could try out the combat system. First-person action adventures and RPGs have a lot more technical limitations compared to third-person action RPGs. So I'm a bit worried about the combat in this game, especially because we can't see any footage about it. But if they manage to make the fighting in the game enjoyable, it could be a pretty decent game. Return to Nangrim also has survival elements, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, anyway, I definitely want to try it out again when it's feature complete. Number 1. Stormrite. If you are closely following my channel, you know that I already featured this game in one of my videos. That was the first video I ever did about the upcoming RPGs, but I also made a dedicated video about Stormrite as well. Now I feel the need to talk about it again because there are some major updates. But first, let's remind ourselves what Stormrite is all about. Stormrite is an open-world action RPG set in a dark medieval fantasy world of Redrich. The kingdom of Redrich lived in a state of constant fear, subject to an endless cycle of suffering by all this powerful being, until one day it seemingly vanished without a trace. Stormrites are actually a set of powerful scrolls that you will learn about as you play the game. The idea for magic in Stormrite is quite interesting. Human characters in this game do not have any magical powers without focus crystals. The player has to charge these focus crystals in order to cast magic. This kinda reminds me of magical runes from Gothic 1 and 2. But anyway, the gameplay in Stormrite offers the player 3 main styles of fighting: melee, ranged and magic. Pretty common stuff for an action RPG, but you will also have the option to mix these playstyles in a couple of different ways. I had the chance to try out the first and also the second combat demo for Stormrite. And the thing I like the most about this action combat system is how NPCs react depending on where you hit them. There is a lot of work to be done, but even in that early stage of development, the combat did have a lot of potential. In the meantime, this small team of developers managed to run a successful Kickstarter campaign, which will hopefully be enough for finishing these projects. The reveal trailer that came out recently is pure gameplay and I highly recommend watching it. Stormrite will also have a companion system where you can bring allies on your travels. So it sounds like this game has everything you would expect in an open world action RPG. Yeah, mounts as well. I'm still waiting to see some story segments with voice acting maybe and other gameplay features that we couldn't see yet. I just hope they take their time with the development and they manage to deliver a proper open world RPG. Realistically, for such a small team, that's really ambitious. But the game itself doesn't seem extremely ambitious and they're not trying to make some crazy promises which they can't keep, unlike some other small developers. According to their Kickstarter page, this is going to be the world map in the game. A waterless bird's eye view of the map of Redrich, which is around 64 square kilometers. Judging by this map layout, we're going to have at least 4 different biomes to explore. And that's pretty much it when it comes to new info about Stormrite. I'll be following the development of Stormrite in the future as well, so stick around if you want to see that. And that would be it, I guess. Tell me which game on this list you like the most and why. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more RPG content. If you want to support the channel in the long run, consider becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You can get your name on the end credits, as well as some other perks like early access to videos, Discord roles, my plans for future content, etc, etc. That will be all, and I'll see you in the next one.